Let me ask you one more question with the Yatra. This time around, the second version, your Yatra is going to pass through states which have very different demography, topography, political landscape. In many of the states that you're going to pass through of the 14, you actually came in with a zero figure in 2019, Pawan Khera. Would you think this Yatra could change it so quickly this time around, coming at the back of a rout in the Hindi heartland in the state elections?
There are several aspects to your question. Number one, the word that caught my attention was rout. It's not a rout. Our vote share is not just intact. Some states it's also gone up. All that we need to understand, comprehend, and address is that why is the new voter not getting drawn to our message? And that is definitely, as we speak, definitely being addressed. The Yatra is a continuation of a process that started last year. Bharat Jodo Yatra was a process that was very well received. And this part of Bharat Jodo Yatra, which is the Bharat Nyaya Yatra, it elaborates on what we spoke about during the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So definitely it has a lot of takers. The country needs this kind of a message. The country needs articulation of the concerns that our younger generation has. Every single Indian is going through these concerns. So I think the Yatra addresses those concerns and articulates those concerns very well.
Mr. Khera, you talk about the narrative, you talk about the messaging. One can't deny the fact that whichever way one might want to look at the Bharatiya Janata Party, it's very clear on what they're going in this election with. They have a fixed Prime Minister face. They have a Viksit Sankalp Bharat plan, which ties into the La Bharati plan. They have the Ram Mandir. They have deliverance, the last mile delivery. All of that which comes together, there is a message in there, be it whether you like it or not. When it comes down to the Congress or the India Alliance, till now, one big criticism has been that there is no one message or a single narrative that you've been able to build. The caste census is at least not sticking on ground with whatever little empirical evidence that has come from it. Communal angle where you've charged the BJP hasn't found traction. So one would say even starting the Yatra in Nagpur where the RSS headquarters is could have been foolhardy rather than audacious, sir.
Preeti, Nagpur, there's a reason why we went to Nagpur. I don't know why there is an obsession and a direct connection between Nagpur and Sangh. I'm sorry, Nagpur has a direct connection with Baba Saheb Ambedkar. It's the Diksha Bhumi. It's where the Constitution of India, we all derive our inspiration from Nagpur. And our entire fight is the fight to protect the Constitution of India. Where else do you think we would have gone? We had to go to Nagpur. So I don't know why Nagpur and Sangh. I mean, the moment you think of Nagpur, you should think of oranges, but not
Mr. Khera, okay, fair enough. But address the first part of the question. At least, do you agree that there is no single narrative or a message that the alliance has come up with till now?
The moment you try and create the other, us versus them, the narrative becomes very clear. Hatred is a glue which attracts very immediately. Hatred is something which is very easily articulated, very easy to fan passions around hatred, very difficult to tread the path of the Congress party, which is of love, which is of harmony, which is of addressing all aspirations, talking about every single group, talking about justice, talking about Nyaya. These are not easy concepts to A, comprehend, to B, articulate, to C, electorally use them. It's not easy. Who said it was going to be easy? And we are absolutely fine with a difficult path. We are aware of the challenges of articulating these concepts. But the moment these concepts get simplified, people start relating to these concepts immediately. They understand that if the government is not agreeing to caste census, well, here is the data. Here is the evidence that there's been injustice to several castes. When Rahul Gandhi talks about 90 officers who are running the country, not one or maybe one is, there's a 3% are OBCs, it makes sense. People immediately start thinking. So BJP's narrative is easy. Congress's narrative is difficult, and we are happy to tread the difficult path because that's the path which talks about every group.
Right, but Mr. Khera, this is at the cost of the voter, no? Because how do you simplify it for the voter? Because the voters are a little confused. They're not being able to
Nobody is
figure out what
confused.
is it that you're taking to them.
Believe me, they are not confused. In our studios and in our boardrooms, in our political party rooms, maybe we get a feeling that people are confused. Go and talk to people. In Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, we may have lost the election, but talk to people. They are understanding what we're talking about. But of course, in the heat and dust and the loudness of our elections, a lot of messages get lost. But messages of Bharat Jodo Yatra stick. They have a resonance even today. And believe me, you will see resonance of the Part 2 Yatra also very loud and clear in the weeks and months to come.
The question which is often dogged your alliance, Mr. Khera, is that who's going to lead it? Now, in your last meeting, you've had somebody like a Mamata Banerjee supported by Arvind Kejriwal, mooted the name of Mr. Kharge. However, your own party is not seemingly have not
Mr.
echoed the same thought.
Mr. Kharge himself responded to it immediately, so I don't see any reason for me to comment on it. In any alliance, in elections, in politics, in any party, it's the base and not the face which matters. It's the kind of issues that you raise that matter. It's the kind of resonance of those issues that matter. I think it's very premature to even start talking about this.
Would the India alliance actually go into this election without a prime ministerial face, Mr. Khera?
I think the question to be asked is that what are the issues that India alliance will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? What are the 5 issues on which India alliance will go to the people? People want to know about issues. Enough of a face. We've had a face for 10 years, for God's sake, and what has that face done?
Many would turn around, Mr. Khera, and say that the Congress has been trying to prop up a face for many years itself in the form of Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
I remember 2004, before the elections, similar questions were asked. There were not many channels then, but whatever channels we had, this question would be asked to everyone. Who's your face? 2004, there is a solid, charismatic face of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Who will counter Atal Bihari Vajpayee? What happened? This country is too wise to get caught in this debate of which is your face, what is your... That's not what the people are interested in, believe me.
Okay, I'll ask you last 2 questions. What's going to be so different which wasn't there in 2019? You spoke of Nyaya in 2019. Nobody, there was no traction for that. You're talking of Nyaya in 2024. What's different this election?
Preeti, 2019 was not a normal election. The events that preceded the elections took care of everything else. I mean, that they overshadowed every concept, every campaign, every other issue raised by any other party. So we cannot compare 2019 with any other election which took place in the past or which will take place in the future.
Okay.
The concept of Nyaya after Bharat Jodo Yatra and now through this Yatra gets further clarified, gets further defined. And I think if you dovetail Nyaya with census based on caste, on numbers, everything fits into the jigsaw puzzle. Everybody starts understanding what we are talking about.
My last question, sir, we go away from, let's not talk about the social narrative or the social fabric, but when you look at the political fabric, there's a clear divide. There is a north-south divide, especially for the Congress. You don't seem to be speaking the language of the Hindi heartland, at least as of now. Congress in the south, clearly much stronger than Congress in the north. And now with the Ram temple coming in, your Yatra is going to be traversing that same landscape.
Preeti, in the north, the so-called Hindi belt, if the Congress's vote share is 40-41%, and we are strong in the south, doesn't that make us to be the strongest party, pan-India party in the country? So when you talk about data, you just talk about BJP. On the contrary, my question is the BJP is only strong, and that too, it has a very solid rival in the Congress party in the north, and BJP has no presence in the south. So that makes BJP a weaker party than the Congress.
Well, right now, at least perception-wise, it doesn't seem so, Mr. Khera, but
data is what counts, no? 41% in the north and very strong in the south. That makes us one strong pan-India party.
All right, sir, we're going to leave it at that. We wish you well, but thank you for taking the time out and joining us this evening.
Thank you.